Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio, and Chase, who is better known as Kilk. The last recap that we had talked about, at least on the podcast, was starting off on the bridge and when the Valkyrie had come down.
Okay.
And that you guys were kind of taken back for about 5 minutes, and then we called the session there.
Had to be a good feeling as a DM.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just kind of sat there and we're like,
party
considering
froze.
my original idea, but it kind of like did it was have Ramah, or not Ramah, have Rathgrith faction thing come in, and then Zinxi's faction come in, and then maybe even have the Aberrations come in, have this giant war come in, and you guys have to go in after the spark while this war is going on outside.
Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, but Zinxi got put away in prison.
Yeah, he did.
Where he belongs until he gives me the eye.
Or Ramah lets him free because she is the warden.
It's true.
Then I'll just take the eye. Anyway,
You gotta go through Ramah.
I don't think Ramah would stop me.
Open the door. I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm going in.
She'd just be like, good luck.
And she's like, she ain't gonna stop me, but would she help me? Probably not.
She's like, I'm not going in. That guy's crazy. He's been eating mayonnaise his whole life.
I could see Vicky just like sitting back, and she goes sure at first, and she thinks like 2 minutes later, like, no, I'm not even opening that door because he could just jump out.
Right. Yeah, what was it? We talked about the mayonnaise jar.
Yeah. Oh, the alchemy, the
Alchemist jug.
Oh, yeah.
Zinxi had one of those in the previous campaign. So he's just in that thing eating mayonnaise, probably.
Because the alchemist jug, it says on there, it can make mayonnaise.
It can just redo it, yeah. So he's
like,
surviving on me.
Me and Chase were talking over Teams at work, and then he sent me this this Reddit thing about the alchemy jar, and it refreshed my memory. It's like,
it was bad.
Zinxi had that in the last campaign when Nick played him. I went, oh my goodness, Zinxi's locked in prison drinking water, wine, and mayonnaise.
This is how he dies.
Yeah. It was weird. That story I sent you was wild from Reddit to you.
The smell that has to be coming off of him.
Yeah, because if he's drinking nothing but water, wine, and eating mayonnaise,
He's sitting in a 30 by 30.
Yeah, we're
tube.
gonna open up and look down, and he's gonna be knee deep in diarrhea.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, he's gonna beg to give, like, just take the fucking eye, get me out of here. Oh my god, that's even better. Screw that guy.
But so we talked about it on the podcast, like, for multiple episodes. Like, Vicky, as Ramah, had a plan of going and talking to the Valkyrie, and she basically went up to the Valkyrie and demanded, for lack of a, I don't know, court with Rathgrith.
Yeah,
take me to your leader.
Yeah, I was envisioning in my head, if anyone's seen Kingdom of Heaven, when Orlando Bloom / Balian goes and has his war council, or goes and meets before the battle with Saladin. Mm-hmm. It's just like out there's just these dudes like made this little like 2-person tent, and there's just a dude out there with a flag of, like, just like, hey. And so Balian's like, oh, okay, and he goes to one of his dudes, and it's just him and Saladin sitting there just like bullshitting, pretty much discussing terms for the battle and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, what? It's like these are like two kings like deciding the fate of like the Holy Land, and they're just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like envisioned that, to where it was Ramah and Merrick, and then it was the Valkyrie, and then Rathgrith showed up, and I just, in my head, I'm sitting there like rocking back, like, oh my god, just like Kingdom of Heaven.
In my mind, it reminded me of Eric Bana, and then Brad Pitt and Troy with Achilles and Hector.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Having that, like, when Achilles out basically outside the wall.
Yeah.
And they have that one-on-one, because that's what you did back in the day. The two leaders met.
Met, yeah.
And then, if it didn't work out, okay, army's advancing.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to attack your city. Here's what we want for us not to butcher everybody in the city.
Yeah.
And then the defenders go, okay, well, your dudes come here, we're going to paint the sky red,
So... They're certainly welcome to try.
Yeah, they can try. And then, okay, well, now we got the pissing contest out of the way. Seriously, I don't want to die here. You don't want to die here. This is our deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes or no. No? Okay, fine. We kill each other. Okay.
And
Right.
Ramah, I mean, and she obviously doesn't know the history with Rathgrith. She doesn't know, and the only person at the table would know that's Chase is that Rathgrith is essentially a man-hater. She hates
very
men
true.
very generally. So if there's one person that had a chance
And
to
had
have
that.
a peaceful talk with her, it was a female. So I like on my little count die
I didn't know
+1.
that.
And then she wasn't talking demanding. She was stern. She just said, I want this, this, and this. You can do this, this, and this. And then the way she's talking, I was basically have my little counter dive, like going up and down. She like did 2 things that made it go down, but majority, like I started off at like neutral of like 10 on a D20. And it went down like twice, and I was up at 16 by the end of it. And then she tried to like, but I want you to give up your spark for
Negative 25.
and that was automatically to me like a -3.
Yeah.
So her and I talked a little bit about how to negotiate, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I want this, this, and this. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But if you always have to ask for a little bit more, right? And she's like, well, what's a little bit more to the stuff that I'm getting? And I was like, say, hey, after everything's said and done, after we destroy the Overseer, after we do this, tell her, hey, you took your spark to defeat the Overseer. Your mission has been accomplished. Give your spark back to the realm, right? Because it's the Fire Realm spark, basically.
Yeah.
Give
Realm
it
of
back
the-
to
the spark of the Fire
Deezin
Lord,
of the
yeah.
realm, Surtur, whomever. So
Merrick.
all right, whoever would grow into the next Fire Lord. And
Ozai.
she's like, well, why would she do that? Why would she give up that power? And I was like, tell her that,
Exactly.
that you'll speak to Freya on her behalf, and if Freya agrees to raise you back to Valkyrie status, or even Odin, like, tell him you'll talk to you. Who knows? But Freya's her mother, right? So you would assume that Freya would have a
Yeah, Freya is Rama's mother, yeah.
And I was like, she can go to Freya's realm because she was an Odin's Valkyrie, which is why she fell before, because she had she tried to have her own free will.
Yeah.
Now she'd be back in her divine sense again with Freya, with her own free will to do whatever she wanted to do and still have her powers back. And I was like, the worst she can say is, get tossed. I've got god powers now.
And that's
basically what she did.
she goes, well, that's a lesser station than what I have now, so no. But the one thing she
higher
did
than being
negotiate
dead.
for was the main story objective.
This,
I will
the theory.
release the city and possibly the soul bomb if you help me defeat the Overseer. And you're able to do what I was not, because I don't believe you can actually go inside that volcano and get that spark, because I couldn't do it.
Right. I was really sad she didn't say. Remember at the end when she was like, so you could go in and get it. And then I was like, you should walk by her and be like, we'll revisit that question when I'm a god. And just keep walking.
Oh, that would have been so cold. I'm like,
That's not a
when I'm a god, we'll be back.
right.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's not a that's
gonna-
not something her character would have said.
we're gonna
No.
put a pin in that. Yeah.
But like, if that was Rumlock, he would have been like, you'll give it up when I'm a god, I promise you. And he would just walk it.
If he even made it past negotiations.
Yeah, he would never.
no, yeah, they would have. That would have ended just in.
Remember when I
I
made
would've-
Rumlock,
Right, you
and
know?
I was like, Rumlock doesn't make it past this point in the story.
Yeah, he's dead now.
Like when it was Bell, it was Bell's Forge, and I was like, if we get to this point, I was like, Rumlock doesn't make it past this point. There's no way a Slayer would be standing in front of one of the most powerful demons
Yeah.
there is, and be like, yeah, we'll help you out.
yeah, he's like,
for a
no,
second."
I'm gonna
And I'd
kill
be
you.
like,
Yar.
no, we're fighting because this is the greatest thing that I could ever die to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no,
and the
that's
rest of the party would be like,
You're doing what?
If
We're doing this.
by himself.
If we had kept it to demon, yeah, that's possibly the greatest epitome of evil besides maybe the Overseer.
He would have fought Rathgrith right there on point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with that character that I have right now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the point of a Slayer is they don't care about the greater realm. They don't care about any of that. They want to go die gloriously.
Yeah.
That's it. So
And take a whole bunch of bad dudes out with them.
Yep.
As they're doing it.
if they can, that's just icing. Yeah.
But I thought she did well.
No, I
She
thought
did
she
great.
did really good. Yeah, I thought
She
she
did very well.
fantastic. Yeah.
I feel like she didn't feel that she did very well,
No, well, that's yeah.
but
She never does though. That's part of Vicky
And yeah, as far
and
as
being uncertain.
yeah, she's very
yeah, as far as Merrick is concerned, the only thing that we didn't get done was the idea of the spark she has. But Merrick's happy because the state's going to get released and maybe the soul bomb. Because there's two things that Rathgrith can do now for Merrick to not kill her. And these two things have to happen, otherwise Merrick will want to kill her. One is if his mother's soul, if his mother is dead, you must give Merrick her soul so that he can bring her back. If not, Merrick will kill you. We'll kill her. Okay, cool. You get Mother's soul back. Say, I need that spark. So, I need that spark. That's the mission that he was given by Surtur. I need that spark.
Mission. That's true.
So give me that spark. No? Okay, I'm going to take it. Or you're going to kill me.
And then you draw the sword.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Yeah.
My
and
spark.
I have I have a sword that can remove the spark from without killing you. Well,
So that's the big question.
nothing says I have to use it.
So that's the big question that I have about that sword. It's probably not something we're going to find out for a while. Is when you say that it can remove the spark, is it remove spark on hit, or is it remove spark on death?
It's probably remove spark on death. They get resurrected.
Or
at
at
one
least
hit
on
point.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring to 0 hit points rather than kill them. It absorbs the spark.
And then the one thing I didn't touch on was before the negotiations, for lack of a better comparison, when she called for court, Rathgrith basically whipped out her power show and came riding down on an adult red dragon.
Yeah, on that big red dragon. Yeah.
Was that she halfway name dropped for, and I did that for a small cameo for Brent and Tove of basically this is a red dragon that belongs to the Ravencrofts of the first campaign, and that was promised as a basically not as a mountain, but basically as a somebody that will help you in your war.
Yeah. So kind of like a brother or compatriot to Zagan?
Basically a weapon.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It is Zagan's brother, basically.
Zagan's brother. Cool.
Yeah.
Zagan the Black Dragon.
Yeah. Which is my logo.
Yep.
Do dragons of those calibers have their own intelligence
Yes.
and sense of right and wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So we're assuming that this dragon is either following her because he believes what she's doing is correct, or he's forced into it.
Or he's a red dragon and wants to burn everything.
Metagame
He's
wise,
useful.
if you guys had pressed the story, because I don't think there's going to be a way for you guys to press the story ever again. If you had pressed the story, you would have found out that after the last campaign, is Marius convinced this dragon to go help Rathgrith in this war.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Marius. That was his last character.
He sounds like a dick.
Marius?
Yeah.
Vampire Dragon Knight.
Yeah, purple dragon knight or purple.
Yeah, a purple Dragon Knight build and just Dragon Knight for our thing.
He was our tank in the.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, basically.
Going from
purple Dragon Knights are basically Warlords of 4th edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was actually fun to play because I could tell how people would like, you go over here, do this. Okay, I second wind. Everybody second wins.
Yeah.
At least everybody within 60 of me.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was basically how, like, behind the scenes story, how that Red Dragon came to be.
Okay.
Or at least the little backstory came up if it got pressed, which I figured there was a slight possibility of, like, it could have.
Yeah. How the hell do you have a red dragon? Well, let me tell you.
Well, I'm a god in Muspelheim.
Oh, okay, cool.
That, and yeah, she might have just. I would have rolled the plus minus die minus. She would have lied about it and just said that. Or that she goes, I have friends in powerful
I
places.
have friends in high places.
High places, says a god.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Either that or I have strong allies
yeah, there you go.
that believe in my cause.
I will say that I'm more interested right now. We're in this dungeon to claim the spark. But obviously Odin has heavy presence of creating this place.
Yes.
I'm very interested to see what happens if the spark gets claimed. Does Odin just be like, "Blow? Well, that was fun watching. You actually made it through more than that." You know what I mean? Like, he didn't put this here not to show up if somebody tries to take it, right? I feel like this is probably the biggest lock and key vault outside of his own one, personal one.
We in the last campaign they ran into basically the Jotunheim version of this.
Okay, yeah.
They were traveling up to basically get where he hid the meat of poetry. In that one, it was basically they had to travel out on these plains, and this castle was basically in the center of a hurricane, and they traveled through the hurricane to get to the castle. And and each one of Flint, the little kobold, that if you asked Flint, he'd say, "Yeah, this is the second vault of Odin I've broken into."
Oh, great.
Thinking about it now, but yeah, he got struck by lightning.
I mean, I got hit by lightning too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When
that's true. Yeah.
a lot of the traps,
You stood
I just
right
feel
in the
like
line of a door.
yeah, I did. I just feel like this is one of those places that like people coming into it is something Odin's gonna know immediately. Right? There's no way that this place just sits there without him having something that like alerts him to be like, hey, someone's attempting your trial. What?
Oh, really?
Oh, let's watch this.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna fail. Like,
It is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Especially since he's a wanderer.
Yeah.
Once you guys got inside and she made the deal, though, like, you guys got a little bit of the backstory behind basically the vault or the trials, as you put it, of basically how the spark came to be through a series of mosaic. This is Thor and Sif basically had a baby together that died during Ragnarok, and this is the spark of basically a newborn baby. And this is why it's unclaimed or an unclaimed spark.
Yeah, the spark of a baby that died in utero when its mother died. Like, oh my god. Yeah, it was a super sad story. And what are we doing? Cracking jokes and
cracking jokes, and then halfway through, Sif cheated on Thor.
what?
It's like, not quite. You're 3 mosaics to the end of the story.
Yeah. Well, like watching it, like, oh my, like it's like it's fucking Telemundo or something. We're like, what?
anytime in the Norse mythology world that we get into things, and it's like, oh, this person cheated on them, or this happened to this person, I'm just like, man, Loki is one crazy dude, man. Like, I don't even blame the people that are involved in it. I'm just like, it was Loki.
Well, it's like,
thinking about it, other than like a little bit of like Loki's mischief, it's more Greek mythology than anything in Norse that has all the cheating on who, like,
and this is why I don't like Greek mythology. I make the joke, but it's like, I mean, this is a joke and a hyperbole, but it's not quite wrong. Half of Greek mythology is Zeus putting his dick where it doesn't belong. The other half of Greek mythology,
I feel like that depends on who you ask. If you ask Zeus, he'll tell you it belongs everywhere.
Well, no, there's been a couple times even Zeus is like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Half of Norse mythology is just usually epic adventures involving Thor fighting giants,
and usually Loki is there helping him sometimes.
Yeah, they're actually like little buddy cops. Was it they had to dress in drag to get?
Yeah, Thor's hammer had one of the frost giant kings got Thor's hammer, and he said, "Yeah, I'll give the hammer back if you let me marry Freya." And so like, that's not gonna happen. And Loki's like, "All right, I got an idea."
They dressed Thor up, and
Thor dressed in a wedding gown and showed up to the wedding. And they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna marry Freya," and it's like, you telling me that Thor looks like Freya in a wedding gown? What the fuck does Freya look like?
Right.
But anyway,
I have more questions.
The Aphrodite of Norse mythology, the single pinnacle beauty, basically.
Yeah, and then you've got
looks like Thor with his beard.
Yeah, with a beard. Yeah, and
Nordic accurate Thor is this big, heavy set red
beard.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job in God
of War.
God of War of depicting what the real Thor
in my opinion, like. God of War Thor is, in my head, the most accurate version. Yeah. But yeah, then they're at the wedding, and Thor is just like downing like racks of meat and downing pitchers of meat, and the giant's like, what the fuck? What the hell?
Freya likes to get it down.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, she's all right. She knows how to
She's a
party.
drinker.
Well, yeah. And so the giant goes to lift the veil up, and it's Thor. He holds his hand out. Mjolnir comes to his hand, and he caves the dude's skull in.
Oh man.
And he just starts going ham on the. And they're like, oh my god, it's Thor! And they start running away. And yeah, so he's just in a wedding gown, just like murdering these giants. And Loki's
Got his
like,
hammer back though.
Is that not a D? Sound like a D&D adventure though.
Right.
I know,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
That is such a D&D thing.
He rolled a lot of deception and persuasion checks. That's all
I-
we're saying.
The campaign after Cade, the craziest thing that happened in that was very Nordic related. Is well, even though Cyclopses are Greek, they ran into a Cyclops, and I rolled horrible. They're already dumb, anyways. They're one of
they're
the dumbest
dumb, yeah.
giants.
Yeah.
I just kept rolling horribly low on the intelligence and perception, just because he's one-eyed and all this sort of stuff. They convinced this Cyclops, basically, they're like, quick. And they put one hand over their other eye. We're also Cyclopses too. Quick, do it. And they even like, yeah.
He's
Like two of them are like, we're not doing this. This is stupid. And then when three of them came forward with their eyes covered in the die,
He's like,
started
"Oh, yeah,
buying
you're
it 'cause I
Cyclops
was
just like
rolling
me."
ones and twos on everything. They're like, and then they put their hands over their,
He's like, we got cursed. We're really small.
Yeah,
and it worked
Yeah.
because
Yeah, like,
my rolls were so.
yeah, we're
horrible.
doing this.
But that's the cool thing about D&D, right?
Yeah.
It's that those opportunities can
Those can happen.
present
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you passed like every roll on that having your
Oh,
con save.
yeah.
Like that was wild.
So yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Where why can't I roll
but
like that during?
We were mentioning
trying
the
to
lightning
attack.
bolt door before we get on even more of a Nordic lore side tangent.
Yeah,
Most of the rooms seem to be activated by some type of traps that were either Asgardian or Veneer. Like, if you're this, then you pass. Basically.
yep.
Yeah.
And that's I had one of you guys roll an intelligence check, and it's like, this is why Rathgrith couldn't get past. Because she's not Asgardian or Veneer. She was a Valkyrie,
Right.
but
So-
she's not one of the two tribes.
Yeah, she's not Aesir or Vanir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first room was an homage to the two Sphinxes in Neverending Story. Basically, I was waiting for you guys to try and pass through them, and then they'd shoot like very powerful like laser bolts at you. But I did notice that Toy Bar got kind of frustrated over the highly detail painted on door and the lightning bolt trap. To where you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, didn't I just misty step back? I was just like, oh,
I'm done with this. Yeah, this is dumb. I'm done. I keep getting roasted.
it was good. I liked it. You know, it really speaks to the fact that as players, we don't ask the right questions.
Yeah.
No.
So many times. We just assume that whatever is going to happen, we'll be able to handle. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And the Tomb of Horrors, which
Yeah.
is kind of what you modeled this around a little bit.
The beginning part, it was basically because I've used ChatGPT to help me a little bit, and then I took all my own. The first part is basically Odin's testing to see if you have the intelligence to basically even handle this.
Yeah.
There's a second trial that's coming with this new floor, and then there's another floor that handles a different type of trial.
Right. I just feel like the Tomb of Horrors, when we played that at Mage,
Midwest Fest.
Midwest Fest, really preyed on the players not asking the right questions.
Yeah, Tomb of Horrors is designed to test player ability and rather
Yeah.
than
The
character ability.
stereotypical, it went against the stereotypical D&D tropes of rushing in and just beating the crap out of things.
Yeah, which I enjoyed,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm one of those players who's like, man, if my character gets his arm cut off, like that was awesome. Like
Yeah.
this is you obviously outsmarted me as the DM, as the player, and something bad happened with my rolls, but that's D&D and that's cool.
Yes.
And Tomb of Horror is just the idea that one wrong choice, your character's gone. They're just dead. See you later. Next.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool to me because there's no way that these places that we go to as D&D adventuring parties wouldn't have just immediate death traps.
The
You're just done. Your
the
character's gone.
funnest part I had was because no one was making like intelligence checks or perception checks was in that black church where you guys were all in, and there's that slot in the wall, and you guys were just poking your weapons in and doing all that. It was just a coin slot. You just had to slide one gold coin in, and it opened the door.
Oh, really? That's funny.
And I think somebody else came up with something just because we were on it for about 15, 20 minutes. And somebody came up with a different idea. I'm like, yeah, that works.
Yeah. Like, all right, we got to change this a little
So-
bit. We got to move along.
So funny to me, and I don't even do this as a player, and I should. And I talked to Vicky about it. I was like, done some things, and she's asked how she can kind of play. How do I make choices better? How do I understand what to do? And I was like, one of the most powerful questions that you can ask your DM is, what do I see?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm looking at this door, what do I see? And if for some reason, when the DM explains it to you, you can't paint that picture in your mind,
Or something seems off in his
what this
description.
is, ask more.
Yeah.
Just keep asking questions before your character makes a choice. Eventually, your DM might be like, all right, time's up. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but for the most part, they want you to feel like you're seeing what your character is seeing. So,
Do I smell anything? Do I?
Yeah.
Because like scent is like the second biggest like sense besides vision.
and we never ask it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this place smell like? What does it look like?
I use that quite a bit. It's like this place smells pungent or whatever, and that's
Yeah.
usually a good sign of something's died or there's a gas.
It's very
or-
bad for Tove when it smells bad.
But yeah, so you guys did the painted room door that basically had a floor that gave away into a bottomless pit.
Mhm.
And then yeah, that would have just happened. Just your character falls, and how you get yourself out would be that if you survived,
Yeah.
or you fell into lava eventually. And then you came into the 3-door room. That
With the levers?
no, there's 3 doors.
Oh, yeah,
left,
3
a
door.
middle, and that, and
Mhm.
one of them had a lightning bolt trigger on it, and then it shut again. And they're like, well, maybe we already tripped the trap or whatever, so I'm sure it's safe to open it. And then you trip the lightning bolt
And
again.
you got hit with lightning bolt
Oh.
again. Yeah.
And then the
there
middle
was-
one was a mimic door.
Yeah, there
Basically,
was a
it tried
mimic,
to
yep.
suck you in
The
the,
mimic
door
door
and
was
then shut
cool.
the door and eat you.
And then the third door was the proper.
Yeah.
The right door, yeah. Yeah, so far the dungeon has been fun.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I will say that making it through all the little puzzles. The last session we didn't get very far. It was basically just all combat.
Yeah.
That fight to me was very interesting. I enjoyed that fight because I don't know if that specific monster is even in the book, or if it was a custom built monster or a pseudo custom built one.
It's an 80% accurate of what it was.
Was it?
And
Okay.
then I added some flavor and
Because those are not
added ethereal misty step to it.
Yes. So those are not mechanics that we see often in boss battles, right? Most boss battles are like, I'm standing here, I'm big, I'm swinging, I might grab you and throw you this way. I might do
It
something
just turns into a
interesting.
slugfest. Yeah.
It's a slugfest. So, and you and I have had these conversations many times. As me as a player, I like having to think in my fights. I like having to be like, if I do X, Y, or Z, Y and Z are probably negative outcomes that have a potential to drop the party or just bypass the turn completely. And in D&D in combat, bypassing a turn where you basically do nothing is
Ooh.
so punishing.
So yeah, you're jumping ahead a couple of rooms though. There's a couple of things that happen before that boss fight, or at least mini boss fight. One is you guys went through that 3rd door, which is the corridor that led to a door that had Odin's face on it, which Merrick ended up insulting Odin, which got everyone gassed.
So this makes me feel like Odin is watching. You know, like someone walked into his treasure room and he's like, all right, let's see. And you're like, man, fuck you, Odin. He's like,
Yeah, I forget what Merrick said. Yeah.
let's adjust that little.
It was basically
gas.
like an insult.
Yeah,
to
Merrick
to his
insulted
intelligence
him.
or his
Yeah.
looks or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Merrick insulted him somehow. I forget what he said. Then it's like, oh, okay.
I think it was something weird, like, you know, you see Odin's face on it and blah, blah, blah. And you were like, man, fuck that.
I think it was like,
Fuck
yeah.
Odin.
I was like, Odin.
Oh, he's an ugly dude or something.
Yeah, like Odin's a little bitch or something like that. Yeah.
And then Ramah was like, we're sorry, Odin. That wasn't very nice.
Yeah,
And the door just opened.
Rama apologized
Yeah,
to the
he
door.
insulted
Yeah.
the mouth on the door literally opens and then gas pours out
Yeah.
for everyone within 60 feet. Everybody makes con checks. And it was the people that failed were poisoned, but we all kind of had the ability to shrug that off with a
Yeah.
Yeah, because Merrick laid on hands and cured himself, and then he had to do it on.
Passed
He had to do
Flint.
it. And they're like, oh yeah, whoop, there we go.
even though Flint had advantage on it,
This
being
is
a dwarf.
right. As the player, this makes me feel like the fact that it blew gas at us when you
Yeah, that's
were mad at Odin. It makes me feel like Odin or somebody that Odin has appointed is watching us.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was
like,
that was
it wasn't very nice. Let's gas him.
Yeah, that was an intelligent
the
maneuver
gas
by
button.
the door. Yeah, exactly.
And then when Ramah goes, oh, we're sorry, Odin. Oh, okay.
and the door.
The guy's
opened.
like, oh, she likes Odin. That's cool. All right, let's open it.
But then
Yeah.
you guys, it was fun watching you guys strategize the shifting for lava room.
Oh yeah. To where I'm like, oh, Merrick's just like, oh, I have resistance to fire. I'll go first. And Merrick stepped out onto the
And it slid back, right?
and it
Platform,
slid,
and
it slid
it slid
back
back
5 feet. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's pressure activated. All right. And then that's why, okay, we just got to get through that door because the other side's going to do it. We kind of figured, like, knew what was going to
Yeah,
happen.
and then Tove kind of walked out, did her amazing eagle eye perception check, and I go, you notice that there's grooves in the side of the walls, and you're assuming that these floors are somehow, you're not sure how it mechanically works, but they're on a track, which will expand this lava.
So that whole room would have had no floor at some point
Yeah.
had we just messed it up the whole time, right? And it would have just literally been you open the door and it's just lava.
and yeah, like, oh, you know, yeah.
That's what I assumed, but I was like,
Yep, that's exactly it.
okay, yeah, that was a cool one.
That was
It's
interesting. Yeah.
done the standard jump, basically, like the bridge.
Yeah, so I've realized pretty quickly, as a group, we don't have an effective way to deal outside of our NPCs
Yeah.
to deal with things like a 20-foot jump across a chasm.
Just jump it. A 20-foot jump, Merrick can do that easy.
Right, because you have the strength to. But not everybody in the party can do those things, right? So we're in a weird spot where, like, I know fly.
That sounds like a them problem.
Right.
All,
Where I have to
kind
then
of do
cast
now.
fly.
Now that they're 16th level, he can actually physically do it. Tove
I have
has
the
it.
boots.
You have the boots. Ramah could fly, and
Tove
Tove has
moves at the speed of sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Tove moves at the speed of sound, and now she can teleport.
Right.
Yeah, because of her
Her epic path.
her epic path, she now has teleport speed.
Nightcrawler teleport.
Yeah,
which-
she can bamf. Yeah.
There
So-
is, and I've figured out that spell instead of dominate monster.
Yeah.
It was the one where you can create 2 portals 500 feet.
Dimension door.
Dimension door, yeah. So I had Dimension door. I was probably pressing buttons on D&D Beyond, and it removed one and it added one. And I was reading them, and
Like, oh, hey, Dimension Door.
It could have just updated it to the 2024 version, which was Dominate Monster. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
but even
Yeah.
even Vicky was like, "Don't you have like the thing that creates?" And I'm like, "I do." And then I was looking. I'm like, "Oh, that's must have been what Dominate Monster was." Okay, level up. Everybody struggles with level up. Sometimes.
I have a new spell.
Once you
Right.
got past the lava room, the doors, it led to like a doors and levers kind of puzzle trap room. Mm-hmm. Which you guys.
3 levers.
Three
Yeah,
levers, 3
levers,
doors.
Yeah. We're gonna
And
hear
then
ourselves.
Yeah,
a
we
rune-
electrocute
a rune
ourselves.
circle basically all the way around. We read like stereo instructions because it was Vicky and you, or is it just Vicky that has the ability to read all writing?
Vicky has Eyes of the Rune Keeper, so she can read everything,
Mm-hmm.
which is powerful. Like one of the most crazy.
Oh yeah,
warlock
yeah.
things I
That's
can
that's
kind
a
of
pretty
think of.
yeah.
Which basically she read it. It read through how it didn't tell you how to solve it, but it said shifting the levers in a certain way opens.
Yeah,
the
it gave
doors,
us a hint. Yeah.
which you guys thought was one of the 3 doors, but it actually opened up to the stairwell down below.
Yeah,
Yeah, because at first it was like
all three.
Merrick's like I pull this lever, and then Nate's like, okay, well you hear like a ka-chunk. It's like, oh, hey, that worked. Wait, you just pull all 3 at the same time? We pulled all 3 of them, and it's, bam! We all got,
we all
like,
got
nope.
electrocuted.
We all got electrocuted.
Overcharged the chat.
It's like, nope, not that one, not that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's put it back. As long as we hear a katunk, we did good.
Yeah, and then so we ended up figuring the combination out, and then it's like,
It
oh,
was
okay.
1, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the floor started sinking, and it created a spiral staircase
Yeah,
down.
the outer part of the floor
Yeah.
gave away. Hey, tabletop gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.